What's up guys? After test driving the Firebird, we found out it needed a transmission mount, so we're on the way to AutoZone to get a transmission mount. We discovered the transmission mount needed to be changed because whenever we take off hard, you hear a big old clunk in the center console. We jacked it up and we found out it had a broken transmission mount, but it was only a $9 fix. We're about to go to AutoZone.
We're on the way to AutoZone, the best parts store in the grocery getter. So we got to pick up a transmission mount, some lug nuts. We're gonna check how much the Match It spray paint is. All right guys, so we ended up picking this Perfect Match spray paint. It matches all red GM paint, so it should match perfectly with the Firebird. So the AutoZone trip was a partial success. The spray paint that we bought doesn't match correctly, so we're not gonna bother repainting the front or back bumper. But they did have the transmission mount that we needed. Usually we'd replace them with polyurethane mounts, but whenever flipping, we try to cut as many costs as possible without making the car unsafe.
When you're jacking up a car, make sure you find a very stable spot. In this instance, we're using the center of the frame, a pretty solid metal bar underneath of there, and it'll be very safe for us while we're working. There's nothing wrong with 2-ton jack stands, but if you want to be really safe and know you're safe underneath the car, get some 6-ton jack stands. They're totally worth it.
And you may be asking yourself, why are these guys working outside when they have a whole 2-car garage 3 feet away from them? And the answer is, we like to be complicated. As complicated as possible.
The lighting is so much better outside than in here. The garage is more of a workspace at night, or a long-term project stays in the garage, but when we have cars coming in and out, we're able to work on cars outside with ease. We still have our air compressor right here. Anyone who wants a good old air compressor, these old school ones with these big old motors are great. Just set them on any type of tank you want and they work so good. This is our second one. This is our first one. It has a leak in the tank, but other than that, these are great air compressors. So Jalen's underneath of the car right now and we're gonna show you guys the whole problem.
So the transmission is all up here, this big piece of metal, and then the mount is right here. And the mount holds the transmission to the frame of the car. But as you can see, when I lift up on the transmission, the bottom stays, but the top's moving. So the transmission mount is broken clean in half.
What we're gonna do now is we're gonna get another jack. We're gonna put this piece of wood on the jack and jack the transmission up so we're able to reach the transmission mount.
So here's a better angle of our issue right here. This piece, as you can see, as we jack it up, it slowly separates into two. This is what it's supposed to look like right here, just one solid mount. And that's causing the transmission to jump every time we put it under load. So to be able to get to the mount, there are 3 15 mil bolts holding up the cross member, and to be able to get more clearance, we're just gonna have to take it off. So that's one of them off, and then there's one more on this side and then one on the far side.
So I just took the cross member off and now we can easily access the transmission mount.
And here's where our issue lied. The cross member has half of the transmission mount on it and the transmission has the other half. And this is what it's supposed to look like. All right, so Jared got the bottom half of it off. The last thing to do are to take these 2 bolts off.
And it's off.
So where we just took this one off, we're gonna go ahead and put this one up as its replacement. And then the bottom of it, there's a bolt and it goes right through here, and we'll go and screw the new one on.
So right now, Jalen's putting the cross member back on. That's all that's left. So this $8 part took us about an hour to do. And if you guys go to a shop, they're gonna charge you anywhere between $200 to $300 to get it done. How ridiculous is that? Come on now. This literally took us an hour, and this was the only problem with the car, and we just recently found out about it, and it took an hour to do. Come on now. You can't beat it. You can't beat it.
Can't beat it. And transmission mounts on 406s are known to go out. We've seen multiple blogs where people say that they've gone out at only 15,000 miles. So imagine every 15,000 miles having to pay $200 to $300 just for this transmission mount change.
We're about to let her off the jack stands, get everything cleaned up, and then we're gonna take her on a test drive.
All right guys, so we finished the repair and we're on the test drive now. Right now is the moment to see whether or not we wasted an hour of our lives and to see if we got rid of this transmission clunk. Jerry, go ahead and floor it. Yes, sir. So you guys couldn't tell near as much as we could, but the transmission clunk is definitely gone. Whenever we're under a large load, the transmission felt like it jumped a lot, but now that the transmission mount is back intact, it doesn't feel like that anymore. So it is literally the day after we put the transmission mount on. We got it posted the night of, which was it last night, and we had a soldier come pick it up today.
For $2,800 bucks.
$2,800. That's a full $1,000 profit, which is $500 split 2 ways for literally an hour's worth of work.
But why does it matter if you're doing it for fun? I have 4 cars left because that car went in my name, and Jalen has 5 cars left, so we still got 9 more cars to flip this year.
It's a long year. Let's get to it.